State and federal taxes are due in less than 3 months, so once again, it's time for tax preparation and some free help from the city and its partners. To tell us how it works is the director of the Boston Tax Help Coalition and Assistant Deputy Director in the Mayor's Office of Financial Empowerment, Mimi Turchinetz. Thank you very much for being with us, Mimi.
Thanks, Chris, for having me.
First of all, talk about the credits. I know we do this every year, but it is so important that we have to tell people that, even if you made only a little money and you don't think you owe taxes, at least any additional taxes, you still need to file because there's something in it.
Right, that's right. So they're for low to moderate income folks who are working. They may be eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Advanced Child Tax Credit. Those are the EITC is what we call it. It's a tax credit for people who are working. So it will provide up to $6,000 for a family of three dependents. And it's a refundable credit, so you'll get the money even if you don't owe taxes. And if you don't file, you don't get the return, you don't get the credit. So it really is a significant lump sum. There's also a companion state credit, which has gone up to 23% of the federal credit. So those are both two really important credits to receive.
Now, I recall that at least before, if you were eligible for the credit in a previous year and maybe you didn't file or you didn't claim it, you might be able to sort of reverse that a bit too.
Still, you can still go back to the 3 years. So if you haven't filed in 3 years, you can get up to 3 years of back taxes. Yep, you can still do that.
Now, one thing we want to tell people about is that there are some new rules this year, and I guess one of them could affect how much time it will take to get those credits.
There was a law that was passed by Congress, so this is nothing to do with the IRS or the Boston Tax Help Coalition or any of the advocates. It was something that Congress did. They passed something called the PATH Act, which is supposed to impact potential identity theft and potential fraud. So what they're doing is they're holding earned income, any return that has an EITC or advanced child tax credit are being held until February the 15th, and then they'll be processed. So there are some folks whose taxes will be held for a couple of weeks and then they'll be processed.
Now, some of the people you're helping, their tax returns might be pretty straightforward, but even straightforward taxes, I've always found that to be a chore, and sometimes I can imagine a lot of people being just totally confused.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not really the case. I mean, there are some people whose taxes are quite simple, but there's also a lot of people who have 1099s and they've got 2 or 3 jobs and they might have had unemployment for some of the year, they may have some disability, they have earned income credit, they've got different credits, and so there may be many forms, many things, they might have just a lot of complications, right? So I mean, our volunteers are IRS certified, they're qualified to do fairly complicated returns, and people should know that coming to our sites, they will get the best service that they can. They will get folks who are certified by the IRS, whereas if they go to a paid preparer, none of those folks are regulated.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Mimi Turchinetz from the Boston Tax Help Coalition. So I guess going to a preparer here, doing it for free, the preparers know the drill, so it takes a lot less time than trying to struggle and do it yourself, I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah, of course. I mean, if taxes are a struggle for you and you don't feel confident doing it online, there are some online free services as well. There's something called Free File, there's something called My Free Taxes, but a lot of folks really want the comfort of knowing that they can go somewhere where it's supportive. A lot of our taxpayers, we serve 13,000 taxpayers at 35 tax sites across the city. A lot of folks make their annual pilgrimage. They find that they've been going to the same tax sites. We've got one site in Roxbury at the Roxbury Center for Financial Empowerment. People come, they ask for the coordinators, they ask for the taxpayers or the tax preparers. So it's a community. We built a community around really helping people build wealth and develop good financial strategies.
As in every year, there will still be people who will go to a paid tax preparation business to have it done, attracted, no doubt, by the prospect of getting something right away. Right. Talk about the possible downside of that.
Well, part of the problem with that is that many of those services, if people go to them, they may promise you quick money, they may give you an advance, but it's not free, it's a loan. Additionally, what's happening is that there's no way that they can know exactly what your return is going to be, so they give you a loan based on the expectation of the return. If the federal government is holding your money for any reason, whether it's for school loans or any kind of garnishment, there's a chance that you won't get all the money that you expect. You could end up owing a lot more money, and you're going to be paying. Secret shoppers have found that some of those places charge up to $500 because they charge per form, and then there's hidden fees. The National Consumer Law Center really, along with advocates and CFPB, say avoid the paper pairs if you can.
So as far as the free preparation, this is going to get started pretty soon.
We started on Saturday. We're open. We're open for business. We have, as I said, 35 sites. They'll be opening all this week and started on Saturday. We're having a big kickoff with Mayor Walsh on Friday at Dorchester House to celebrate the 16th tax season. We've been doing this for 16 years. It's hard to believe. And so, yeah, we're open for business.
So should people make an appointment? Should they just show up? Or what's the best way to do this?
So there are some, and I've kind of given you this before. This is the flyer with all of the sites. We've got the 35 sites. Some of them are walk-in, some of them are appointment only. If you go to our website, which is bostontaxhelp.org, it will tell you which is appointment, which is a walk-in. Dorchester House, Codman, Roxbury Center are all walk-ins. Many of the others are appointment only.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Mimi Turchinetz from the Boston Tax Help Coalition.